I'm worried with them saying Trump calling CNN fake news, blood's going to be on your hands, you're going to cause violence. These are the David Gergen, blood on Trump's hands if there's violence. The evil blue blood Republican, David Gergen, really a creepy weirdo. Acosta's saying the same thing. Trump's leading a hate movement against media. No, they're the ones calling for killing him and saying he's a liar. All he does is expose him. So I'm really worried about them staging something or getting some crazy to do something to attack their own people so they can play victim. Well, the president is wanting to get the public's intake, the public's view on China's got a $900 billion trade deficit with us, it's estimated. And all Trump wanted was $100 billion. He said, give me something, God. And they said, no. So he said, listen, we're going to have a trade war. So he wants the public's feedback. Next hour, I'm going to get into that. Trump's free trade plan could be his Reagan moment. Tear down that wall. Mr. Gorbachev, how about China? You actually reciprocate a little bit here. I mean, Trump's not asking for that much. He's like, give me something. You know, it's like you go out to dinner with somebody and you go, I'll pay for 90% of the bill, but why don't you get the dessert? And they're like, no, it's totally unreasonable. New York Times admits it hired editor despite knowing about her horrifying racist tweets. So new article, they're not denying that she said white people are evil goblins and need to be exterminated and all this other craziness. Now the New York Times is defending it. Brandon Tatum, great patriot, former police officer, SWAT team guy, now works with Turning Point USA and the great work they're doing. I've got Mark Randazza riding shotgun with me. Let me ask you this, Brandon. Where do you at a gut level think this is ending? Because the economy's turning around. Numbers show that black Americans, Hispanic Americans are double digit from what they were supporting Trump. That's really scaring the left. Even skewed polls where they oversample Democrats 15 points show Trump's at 50%, but only 60% voted. So in polls, 50%, I mean, that is 5 points ahead of what Obama had a year and a half into his administration as well. Yeah. Where do you think we're at, Brandon Tatum?
Well, I think we're headed in the right direction. I think that this is, this comparison came from Dinesh D'Souza's new movie. It's going to come out and everybody can see it for themselves. I don't want to spoil it. But a component of it is that, Abraham Lincoln had a very similar situation where it was up to him at a pivotal moment to change the country forever. Now, it took a while. There was things that were subsequently put into place once African Americans were freed and things like that. But I think that Trump is doing the same thing. We're watching growth happen. We're watching our image on a worldwide scale increase. Unemployment is down for African Americans. There's so many jobs out there. We don't have enough qualified people to take those jobs. And I think over time, we're going to see things headed in the right direction. And I think that our decision in 2016 actually saved America. And people may disagree with that, but we are watching things unfold in a historical manner. I mean, especially with the GDP being where it's at, the confidence in this country, America first mentality, all of those things are invaluable to sending people in the right direction or giving America the proper trajectory. And I think that the American people can see what's going on. And in 2020, we want the same results and even better. So I think we're winning this battle. They're just going down, kicking and screaming.
I agree. Everybody likes a winner. And that's why the Hispanic numbers are exploding. Everybody gets it now. I think the facade's imploding, and I agree. The ghost of the Democratic Party, the KKK, all their manipulations, all their evil, they're putting out their full attack right now because it's death throes. But I don't want to be too confident. Mark Randazza, what do you think?
Look, I don't think the Democratic Party, I mean, I know it's not going to be a popular view in the show, but I don't think the Democratic Party's evil. They just have a different philosophy. And their philosophy is to bind people through identity politics and run as a coalition of identity, of identity politics coalition.
That's the opposite of Martin Luther King.
I agree. And they, but it has worked for them. It's worked for them in certain areas. It definitely works for them in the cities.
Yeah, it'll definitely work to destroy the country, too. I mean,
I don't agree with it. And I don't agree with it, and I don't like it. But it's.
I'm just saying, I don't think it works for them, because when I went to California, this was depressing. I saw nothing but homeless people scatter in the streets. It smelled like pee and urine, all in the streets. And the funny thing is that downtown LA is not majority African American, yet the majority of the homeless were African Americans. The crime capital.
Yeah. Why do African Americans statistically do worse in Democrat areas?
Well, look at Chicago. Look at Baltimore. The murder capital of the United States of America is run by Democrats. I mean, so if anybody's struggling or if it's detrimental to anybody, and this is historically, the people on the left, their philosophies don't work. The welfare state didn't work for African Americans. What they're doing in these Democratic-run cities are causing more chaos.
I mean, it makes everybody dependent. We know dependency, whether you spoil your kids or whatever, it destroys people, and it's pure evil. So let me ask you this, Brandon Tatum, and we're going to have our Dawes continue in the next hour with another guest joining us. Let me ask you this question. As we see the trance starting to break, at a gut level, how do you think they could grab victory from the jaws of defeat? I'm worried with them saying Trump calling CNN fake news, blood's going to be on your hands, you're going to cause violence. These are the David Gergen, blood on Trump's hands if there's violence. The evil blue blood Republican, David Gergen, really a creepy weirdo. Acosta's saying the same thing. Trump's leading a hate movement against media. No, they're the ones calling for killing him and saying he's a liar. All he does is expose him. So I'm really worried about them staging something or getting some crazy to do something to attack their own people so they can play victim. I mean, at a gut level, as a former police officer, SWAT team guy, what do you and your smart friends that look into these things, I mean, what type of tricks are they going to play? Because we know the left's always staging attacks on themselves.
I think they're definitely setting themselves up to have an excuse in case something like this happens to then further push propaganda. But I think that the American people, we aren't that stupid. We listen to what they're saying. Even people that disagree with you and I, Alex, or disagree with what's going on in the show, they can see people holding bloody heads of President Donald Trump. They can see the lies and manipulation. They can see money in their bank accounts. They can see that since he's become president, homosexuals haven't lost rights. Women aren't doing poorly. African-American people aren't going back to Africa and returning to slavery. I mean, we are not stupid. That's why he won.
Oh, I forgot they said that about Trump. They said he was going to bring slavery back.
Right.
That's going to be quite a challenge.
I can't believe that 40 years ago, when he got control of golf courses, there were still golf courses that blacks and Jews couldn't go to. Trump's the one that did all that. That's why the rappers all loved him. Then they turned it around that he's going to send black people to Africa.
Look, before he got elected, the predictions of what was going to happen when he got elected, this Fourth Reich that was going to happen. I mean, I remember I had a lot of Jewish friends who were saying, oh, we're very scared about how anti-Semitic he is. Anti-Semitic? This guy is probably the most pro-Israel president we've ever had.
That's what I mean. It's like Brandon said, it's all upside down. Brandon, in closing, where do you think this is going then? I keep asking that because it's just crazy.
Well, I really believe that God is in control of this. I don't think President Trump is the president by happenstance. He shouldn't have been the president, given all the attacks and the government against him, the FBI. I mean, he shouldn't be the president, but I think God intervened because God wanted us to have a country that is prosperous, that he wants us to have a country that understands him and believes in who he is. And I think that he's going to control some of these things and God is going to make it better for us. But we got to go through the war. It's going to be a fight, just like Jesus they believe they killed him, but he rose on the third day. So I think that there's light at the end of the tunnel and that God is in control and he's going to make everything better. But we're going to have to go through a fight first.
Brandon, I totally agree with you. And just like Nineveh, they took the reprieve for 100 years and got it. Some people didn't. The prophet came, and I'm not saying you know what I mean. God's given us a chance. Here's prosperity, can make it better, come together. Martin Luther King type ideas, really classical liberal ideas. Or if we reject Trump, I think that's when the judgment happens. I don't think we're out of the woods. I think we're being given the chance, being shown things could be better. And I think if we don't take this, we're going to lose everything.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Can't you feel it too? Like the energy in the country is so it's good and bad. It's like really strong.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. I was walking around LAX. I just came from LA and I had my Make America Great Again hat on. And the funny thing is, and you hear, I don't know if it's because of my black privilege or not, but nobody attacked me. Nobody said anything to me except one lady. And she told me she loved my hat and it's very brave for me to do what I did. So I don't know what mythical scariness that they're trying to portray, but by and large, if you are on boots on the ground type mentality, people aren't as stupid as they're trying to make us think. People aren't as openly hateful as they try to put together in clips and videos. So I honestly believe that most people, and half of America didn't even vote this time around, but I think most people are either in the middle or they're starting to wake up to realizing that this is just absolutely ridiculous.
And that's why the Democrats are panicking.
That's why they have to use somebody like LeBron James. This is what they want to do. See, back in the day during slavery, they would hold the biggest, strongest slave, they will beat him, and they'll push him in front of the crowd and say, if you disagree, this is what's going to happen to you. We will break your will. So that what they do now psychologically is they put one of the most powerful influencers in the entire country, they put him on and they say, no matter, because this is what he said, no matter how big you get, you still are the N-word. You still black. They will still hold you down. They just put that man in front of everybody in America and threaten them and show them that you, no matter how big you get in this country, no matter how free you are, we still control you. This is what they're doing to our brains, and we're not having it. And people like me are going to stand up against it.
Well, Mr. Tatum, you are on fire. We look forward to having you back on very, very, very soon. Everybody should follow what you're doing right now at BrandonTatum.com. God bless you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
He goes to jail. He goes to jail. Lock him up.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
You know, President Trump talks about how we need to be trailblazers, how we need to be outsiders, how we need to expose the current stagnant system that's been suppressing us, wanting to make us poor so we can consolidate control and buy us up for pennies on the dollar. That really is the globalist system. And he's absolutely right. So it is an honor to be persecuted by the globalist and to be lied about and to be demonized. But it's an honor to draw them out so we can show who they are so that you take action and you take the country back politically, culturally, spiritually, financially. Another hero is Julian Assange, who's been in solitary confinement in a closet-sized room. They converted a closet with a bed and enough room for a laptop. They took that away over a year ago. No communication with the outside. It's all been one hell of a time for him, and he was very bipartisan in that he exposed Republicans, he exposed Democrats. He very judiciously released information that exposed criminal activity of the NSA, criminal activity of the CIA, illegal spying on Congress, illegal spying on Trump, illegal spying on me. But they had my home number, my old cell, my new cell, and my office line. And they had Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago private apartment number that I had. Total proof of Obama spying on Trump and yours truly a decade ago. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the real deal. And America's had freedom so long, people don't recognize real tyranny when it hits them right between the eyes. But everyone needs to go to Infowars.com. The article is right up there at the top of the page, red link. Petition to Trump, pardon Julian Assange. And we go over the fact that he engaged in regular journalistic activity and did a wonderful job being advised by top journalism professors around the world, and that he was very, very fair about what he did, and that you need to send the message that he's a hero. Now, I know they claim he's a Russian agent with no evidence and all the rest of that garbage, even though they've released stuff on Russia and Israel as well, and China. But it doesn't matter. It's the right thing to do. And you wouldn't have gotten elected without Drudge. You wouldn't have gotten elected without what you've done, obviously. You can't say it's any one person, but without any of us together, it wouldn't have happened. So we need the president to pardon Julian Assange. And you said in a speech, I don't care who got her illegal server. It's illegal. It's about what she did that's wrong. Don't change the subject. Go back to that instinct, sir. But you told Assange, release it. You said release more stuff. And he's in the crosshairs. And he needs to be pardoned if he's brought back to the United States. Look at that. Everybody else is just like yellow or clear. That's because it's been denatured, it's been watered down. We didn't do that. You think I would metaphysically sell you something that is the very best I can get? I'd rather go to hell than do that. I will only give you the maximum best info, the maximum truth, the maximum product, because I want that goodwill. What I do to you, I do to myself. Don't you get the big secret? You ever seen fish oil look like that? No, you never seen that, have you? And this little jewel right here is solid, liquid consciousness. Look it up. Find out how even the FDA and the government admits fish oil is incredible. The number one thing anybody can do for themselves is take good fish oil or krill oil. Just like our information is dynamite, so are our products, InfoWarsStore.com.